So what do you call yourself? Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hey, what can I do for you this fine day?
This is your destiny. Hot, hot, hot.
Right now.
Welcome to the LaTangela Show. Come on in and enjoy yourself.
Right now.
We gon' party like no one else. Welcome to the LaTangela Show.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the LaTangela Show podcast. You know, it does my heart well to have this time together, especially when I get to hang out with the world's greatest. Now, we've heard about the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce, the foundation, and all of the great things that they're doing. But when I can get the inside scoop, that's what I do.
I love it.
So I had to dig deep. I was like, Kelisha, I know you somewhere close, so could you pull up on me? And she said, I might be cruising through the city and we might be able to make it happen. So today she did her pull up. How are you?
I am great. How are you?
I am excellent. Even better now, because we have so many of our listeners and viewers that can learn so much about the great things that you all have going on. Tell me a little bit about your position with the Louisiana Chamber of Commerce Foundation.
So I'm actually the Vice President and Chief Operating Officer for the Chamber. We started this organization back in 2018 with a purpose to help enrich and train individuals that wanted to either participate with their local regional chambers of commerce or to start a chamber of commerce. And so since 2018, we have actually had the honor of starting 6 chambers across the state.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. There were 4 that were in existence. And so totally there are 10 that we work directly with, providing them with technical assistance. And just so the listeners understand, that type of technical assistance that we are providing to these chamber leaders is likened to what you would get as a small business owner. If you wanted to understand, your value proposition, who your client is, your target market, how to market to them, how to work with your local representatives, how to advocate on behalf of individuals, and how to network and collaborate so that we can grow. And so that's the purpose. That's the purpose of us providing that type of assistance. And that's why we started this Chamber of Commerce Foundation.
And it's one of the things that you don't understand, that you realize I need this until you need it and you don't have it.
Or you see that everybody else in their respective regions and areas, they have access to participating in chambers, and it costs. It costs to be a member of a chamber, right? And anytime that we spend our coins, because they come hard to get by in the first place, if we want to participate in an organization and provide a membership fee, we want to understand the value. And so when businesses are often approached by organizations that say, hey, come and join my organization, you have this 3-letter word that comes back to you all the time, and it's why.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't know your value proposition, why should someone provide you with their hard-earned income that they've made for their business? What are you going to be able to do to help their business thrive and grow? And so what we do is we instill that information into the chamber leaders, to the board of directors for these chambers. And then in addition, we have been supported by LED with the state of Louisiana, our former administration, this current administration. And through that support, through the representatives and senators alike, both sides of the aisle, we were able to garner some foundation funding that has allowed us to be able to support these chambers with assistance. That's good. So if there's someone that's working in the office, they can reach out on your behalf, on behalf of the board of directors, because let me tell you, this is a working board.
It is.
And we reach from the top of the booth down to the toe of this state and everything across. And with that, we need someone in this space so that they can reach out to the local community, to your local corporates, to your local municipality and police jurors and school boards, so that they can understand the types of opportunities that are available for these businesses to go through procurement, obtain these contracts, and be able to grow our small business community.
And so to make it all make sense, right? And like you mentioned in the intro, that you have 10 affiliate chambers, but walk us through the process. What does it look like for one to say, I want to form it? Because it's not just coming up with an idea and not having that plan and executing it and to maintain it.
Exactly.
So what does that look like?
So you're talking about the 2 things that I love the best. One is understanding organizational structure.
Mhm.
And the second is succession planning.
Okay.
Understanding what does this look like beyond me?
Right.
Because a chamber of commerce is a 501c, and it's either a 6 or a 3. And so on your C6 side, that's your member-based organizations. Those are the collective chambers of commerce where individuals come in, they pay their membership. And for that, they obtain networking, they get access to procurement individuals, they have relationship building through their chamber boards and things of that nature. So why would someone say, I want to start a chamber?
Yeah.
Or how do
it's
they
a lot of
come to
work.
us and say, how do we start a chamber? The quick and dirty of this is that we actually started this foundation out of a request from the Legislative Black Caucus.
Okay.
They saw some work that we were doing in the New Orleans region and asked if we would be able to help to do this statewide, to help with their local chambers, to give them some support and guidance and direction on how we were doing things at that current time. Myself and my partner, David Senetian, we took it upon ourselves to establish this organization with that in mind. And since then, the way that we've grown with these chambers have been through either a few individuals,
Mhm.
community leaders that are like, we want to better our small business community,
Yeah.
or through legislative requests from their state representatives saying, hey, we want you guys to come and help some of our constituents to put together a business chamber.
And this is
how do
something
they
that
do that?
needs to be visible. It's not about just saying that
Exactly.
I'm joining it. You said it. It's a lot of hard work
It's a
because now that
working
I'm
board.
paying my money,
Yeah.
I expect to have those networking environments.
Mhm.
And if I don't see that on the calendar, if you're not reaching out, not just to
Right.
myself and to others, but expanding that for us, why are we here?
And so that's what we have the assistants in place for. So we have a general assistant that works with us on behalf of the organizations that are being formed.
Okay.
If we're in the process of doing an all call for board members, which we are doing
Okay.
for our river region area, covering, beyond Ascension and into the river parishes, we are looking for board members to come and participate on that chamber. We just recently had our first outreach event at the Port of South Louisiana, who are one of our partners, supportive partners, also supported by a couple of corporate organizations that are looking to help us with chamber growth initiatives.
Right.
And so with that, we ask that business leaders, if they are interested in joining a chamber, one, of course, they can go to our website and see the affiliates that we have. And that is www.lachamberfoundation.org. So again, lachamberfoundation.org. On our homepage, if they scroll down, you can see the affiliates that are there.
Mhm.
And if there is not a chamber that is closely in your region and you are wanting to start one,
Okay.
you can reach out to us. And so what we would like to do is to make sure that every part of the 64 parishes has representation that can assist their small businesses in helping them understand the procurement process, helping them understand what is the value proposition? Should my business be located here? How about this? Can I partner with another business that may be in another region and we can go after a larger state contract together? We
Yeah.
call that economic gardening.
Yeah.
We started that, back in 2016. And since then, we have had so many success stories of small businesses that may have one or less employees. It's someone that had a hobby, filed an LLC, wanted to start their business, and now they're like, wait, but I can do this, but the contract calls for X number of hours. I need some help.
Yeah. And
Who-
that's a lot
Who
because
can
it's
I
a
go
lot of
to?
work. And it's not often that you can find people that will learn to complement each other instead of compete with each other.
Correct.
And that's a mentality that we have to get out
Yes.
of. How can I help us help us?
Mhm.
And when you start talking about tracking those success stories, you all have done a wonderful job at doing that, about how many small businesses has been able to partner with others and how to grow it out and bring their vision from a thought to a real life situation that's now enhancing the world that we live in.
So let me tell you a little bit about that. So as we were building out this organization, and myself and my partner, again, we are both serial entrepreneurs, right?
Uh-huh.
And so this is a passion, and when it's a passion, it's not a job.
That part.
We have so much fun actually doing this. It's like, pinch me surreal. Somebody's actually, paying you to do this, but the impact, the actual impact of what's being done through this organization as an indirect impact on communities abroad, because we're able to build out small businesses that then hire individuals. We're able to work with our education network, our technical schools that provide certificate programs that allow for people to come in and get these short-term certifications that are industry specific, but are able to work for these small businesses who are now working for innovative type opportunities that they never would have even thought about going after. We have electricians that are now working on contracts for wind energy, building out the actual propellers that are going to be circulating. We have wind leases that have been signed off of the Gulf of Mexico. There are going to be 2 large windmills there. And so I don't know an electrician that actually thought, hey, tomorrow I want to go and build a windmill blade.
Yeah,
or why not? A welder that said, I actually want to work on the turbine component for a windmill.
And to believe that it's obtainable, especially from sitting in their hometown, they may not offer those type of opportunities. Because realistically speaking, when you look at the stats and you talk about the land of opportunity, if we do not take this time to create those opportunities, we will remain the best of the worst when it comes to opportunities. So we're flipping that by saying, hey, would you like to be a part of this chamber? Would you like to create your own chamber? How can we all get involved to make it better? And this is a springboard that has proven success. And for those bigger companies that say, you know what, maybe we need to learn more about how we can help others, maybe to be a mentor, maybe to give of their time and their resources. What does that process look like to join and just to say, I want to be a community stakeholder in this facet?
Absolutely. So one thing I do want to say is we do not have members. Our members are actually the chambers of commerce that we support.
Okay.
We do have partners. So there are multiple corporates and municipal agencies, governmental organizations, entities that have philanthropy funding that we have received funding from so that we can provide these services. What we promote is for small businesses to join their local regional chamber. They, in fact, have membership. And so through that, we also provide direct technical assistance to those businesses. So by identifying grants that have technical assistance provision, we're able to carry that out and provide organizational structure, marketing, human resources, inventory, up to financial readiness. We have received a grant recently from the Minority Business Development Agency federally. We are one of 43 organizations that were selected nationwide to provide capital readiness training.
Working.
That is provided to our businesses free of charge.
Congratulations.
So
that's big.
They complete an application. We take businesses that are less than 3 years old, more than 3 years old. We have 2 different cohorts because we want to make sure that we're teaching to their capacity and not having a cookie cutter approach on how we provide technical assistance. In addition to that, when you asked about corporates or individuals that want to be partners, yes, we do accept partnerships. We also encourage for those partnerships to do just what you said, mentor protege, understanding the fact that they can come in as subject matter experts and help teach some of the technical assistance classes that we are providing. If someone wants to know, for example, how to do business with X corporation, the best person that can come and share that information is typically the procurement or contract manager from that organization. So we invite them to come on. Our classes are done virtually and in person, just according to what the grant calls for or what the ask is for that region.
And you're eliminating all excuses.
Exactly.
And we are in your living room where you can come to us.
Exactly. We do it in the afternoon. We found that our best time to host these events and our classes is between the 3 to 6-ish area in the evening, right?
And so that begins to slow down a little bit and allow us to breathe and say, okay, what's next?
Because one thing I think a lot of people they're not aware of is that 97%, 98% of all small businesses have 1 or less employee nationally, not just Louisiana.
Nationally.
But guess what? In Louisiana, 95% of the businesses that are operating here are small business. And so it is incumbent upon us and the administration. This is why we've been working so closely with this administration and the secretaries directly. I literally just left from OVA at the Capitol in a meeting talking about how we can get more of our businesses involved with energy.
Yeah.
There are so many different variants in energy in our Department of Transportation and this electronic vehicle charging stations. You have infrastructure that's going on. You have expansions to airports that are going on. You have new business industry that's coming here. We're building facilities that are going to be mining for batteries, the minerals for batteries. And so these things are happening in some of our rural areas. And so now how do we connect the dots?
To make sure that we're not forgotten, you know, and they see the wealth. Other places see the wealth in us. Do we see the wealth in us?
Ourselves.
Do we see that?
And that question is the question that we always pose back, because oftentimes I get, we are not able to get a contract, or no one is giving us the information. And so we oversubscribe. If you come and join us on our newsletter, we will send that information to you.
Oh, you will get
not,
this information.
Yes, you will not have, if you follow us on our social media platforms, you will not have the opportunity to say you didn't know.
Yeah.
And here's the deal. If there is an instance when you submit and there was an issue or a circumstance and you have a question about it, contact us. The reason why chambers exist is so that it's once removed from that direct business. There's no fear of retaliation or blackballing. If it's an issue that is going on that is impacting small business and there's a policy solution, bring that to us. That's what we're here for. That's what the regional chambers are there for. They can go and talk to the municipality, their agencies, and actually bring up issues. If it's something that, you know, from an industry standpoint, it may not be a hindrance in Houma, but it may be a hindrance in Shreveport or Lake Charles or Lafayette or in Baton Rouge, right? Let's keep these things local so that we can provide the solution, change the dynamic, remove the barriers, and increase our business opportunities for our local business community.
And I love the fact that it connects so many across our regions.
Yes.
And you'll find different hidden gems in different parts of our states. You know, everybody is known for their own cultural differences that makes Louisiana so unique, more so than anywhere else.
Exactly.
And so once we start internalizing the things that we have and saying, you know what, together we are stronger, other places will begin to respect that. And for all of those who need information on how they too can join or be a part of, now is the time. I'm putting her on speed dial, I'm putting her on blast, and I am definitely continuing to hold you accountable. I asked her to show up, she said, I'm there. And I said, well, when you come back, she's back. When you come back again?
Absolutely.
I love it.
As often as needed. The one thing that I can tell you that, and I wholeheartedly believe is true, no one can ever say that I haven't shared information.
Yeah.
And anything that I'm a part of, I want to make sure that we are sharing this information.
As we
You're
should.
not going to say that you didn't know. If there is an issue or you need assistance, those are the things that we want to hear, because we can help to mitigate the problem. We want to provide solutions. And look, if it may be a no, it could be a no today.
But tomorrow,
let's figure out
the
what
solution
we need
is
to
close.
do. Exactly, to get it done. It may be that you just need to partner with someone. It may be that a regulation that was written over 50 years ago, and it doesn't ring relevant.
I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there are a lot of policies in place that may not have been reflective to the needs that we have. And we don't even think to challenge that, because we don't think that it's obtainable for us to be able to change it or to have our voices heard in that moment. So once we gain that type of information by being in the room, by being at the table, by being the ones that's creating the narrative, that's when we begin to see the change.
It is. And the thing is, I know that there's some businesses, many businesses, and I'm not even going to minimalize this, that have historically went to the meeting. They provided their information, and they've seen time and time again that someone else has received a contract that may have used their information and they were not utilized on that contract.
Oh, wow.
When that happens, we need to be able to bring that forward. And so why I say there's chambers for reasons. This is the strength of a chamber, being able to get that information, bring it back to that department. If they bring it back to us, let us bring it back to the department. If they can't help, let's bring it back to our elected officials. If they can't help, let's bring it up to the federal level where the dollars are flowing from.
Accountability is key.
And if we never bring that back to the table or feel as if we are going to get exiled for doing so, that's when businesses clam up, right? And the other side is we oftentimes have outreach events in industries, and they're like, they'll never pick us. We'll never be able to do it. And I'm like, at least let us help you try.
We've been conditioned. So it's going to take some time
Yes.
to get past that.
It is.
You know, and in all fairness, that's the norm. And we can't accept that. And we can't just fall victim to it. So now is the time to say, look, I want to be a part of this chamber. I need to see what's going on. What can I do to make it different? Walk in the room knowing that you own the room, because honey, you do. You know, and the room can't function without you.
I just said 95% of our businesses are small businesses, but here's the catch. If we have 100 people doing the same thing in one opportunity, one person's going to get it. Diversify your business.
Look good.
And diversify your clientele. On my personal side, on my personal consulting side, the reason I consult with people is so that they can diversify their clientele or diversify the space in which they're operating, i.e. if that space is a local, regional, state, national, international, or if it's industry specific. If you're serving people in oil and gas, go serve people in hospitality. If you're serving hospitality, go serve people in gaming.
And they may not even think that far ahead because they don't know how to do that. It sounds weird even for you putting it into just general conversation, but then you come up as a strategist and show them the how.
And we also bring those people to the table. So when we have these outreach events, and those corporates come to our events, I need them to show up so that they can introduce themselves and say, hey, I have a transportation company.
Okay.
Hi, I am a nurse practitioner. And do you have health services that you provide to your staff? Is there an internal health nurse that actually talks through mitigation so that your staff can be healthier? That's a contract.
It is.
Most nurses think I'm going to work, and I'm only punning on nurses because I started as a nurse. But most nurses think, they want to go to work in a hospital. Like I went to work in a hospital. I was there for a year and a half, and then I had a doctor take me out to come and run a pharmaceutical research company. And I ran that company for 7.5 years up to Katrina.
Yeah.
Not many people know that. I would have never graduated from nursing school and said, hey, I want to go and run a pharmaceutical research company and do phase 1 through 4 clinical research studies and work with an ethical review board, because those were not things that I was taught in my class.
Yeah. You weren't even privy to the information that those were positions.
Exactly. But I stepped out.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm saying with business owners, step out of the comfort zone. If you have a marketing company and you may do marketing collateral, let's start thinking about other things that you can do outside of just providing cups and pins and t-shirts.
Yeah.
Right. And so start thinking about graphics or signage. So then signage then gets into transportation and caution signs for construction companies.
Yeah.
Like, let's think outside of just that one lane and look at other industries or ways that you can have just a transition in the business offering, that you utilize the same equipment that you have to be able to provide this service.
That is brilliant.
Yeah.
And more people need to be in the room. They need to be on the other end of the conversation. And I applaud you and your team for the hard work and dedication that you do, because this is a calling. People can't just wake up and say, this is what I feel like doing, because even when it gets tough, it's hard trying to offer people help when they may not want to receive the help. Or when they've been so conditioned to say, yeah, it sounds too good to be true, and they walk away from it. They're like, but no, come here, let me love you. Let me help. I can help you. Right. So thank you for not giving up. Thank you for having the vision and knowing that it's different than sight. Because that sight versus vision, you can see what's beyond what's right in front of us. Help us see around the corner and connect those dots. And we need to be in these rooms.
Yes.
Ma'am, how do we find How do we find you?
So again, our website is quickest and easiest. It's lachamberfoundation.org. Again, we have multiple regional chambers. Each of the affiliates, there are hyperlinks on our homepage so that you can then go to your regional. You can join in there. On our website, you can actually submit your business for listing in our directory for FREE.
So about the word free, motivate
free at charge. And that is a forward-facing directory. So if someone says, hey, I want to find a landscaper, I want to find a personality, a host, an MC for my event, let me go to the Chamber's directory and see if there's someone there. you should be listed so
Yeah.
that they can easily find you. It will allow you to put your website, your phone number. It'll allow you, I think, even to put your logo there. I know
That's
there's
awesome.
a hyperlink
That's
to go there,
awesome.
but this is all free of charge, right? The second thing that I would love for individuals to do is if they do follow us on a social media platform, because we post the regional events for our chambers as well as things that we have. Like we have our upcoming luncheon. We are
Yes.
hosting our annual Business at Bayou Classic day before the Bayou Classic, which is business on the Bayou.
Yeah.
And that event hosts plethora of different types of vendors. We're at the Hyatt Regency downtown in New Orleans that is open to the public. We wanted to have a reason to have our businesses be there so that when the alumni of both of these amazing universities descend upon New Orleans on an annual event, why are we not showcasing the best and brightest from those universities?
Absolutely.
From our local vendor set. So again, the day before every year, this is our 3rd or 4th year doing it, free and open to the public, 10 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's before the galas and pomp and circumstance. So there's no reason for you to not come by and support those organizations as they are putting out the wares, the vendors, the things that they are producing, packaging items. There are all types of things that you can actually purchase there while supporting our local business community. Our luncheon that we have is an annual luncheon.
Yes.
We do have many partners from state agencies, from corporates that are in the room. We also have some interns from the university, some kids that are wanting to do entrepreneurship. I was about to say children. But of course, I think we do have the college. I think we had some high schoolers one time, but I think we're focusing on getting some of our local college students that are interested in business to come there.
I love it.
We have our federal and state agencies around entrepreneurship and business development. So SBA is there. Our Louisiana Economic Development Organization is there. It is a wonderful event. It is going to be held on October 25th, right here in Baton Rouge at the Hilton Capitol on Lafayette. And look, I would encourage anyone that it is a limited seating, and
So
we
don't
are
wait.
selling out fast.
Don't wait.
But you can obtain information for that. And again, I think that what I do want to impress upon people is that the way you do business in the past has changed. We have to get into digital and getting into mediums that are easily accessible.
Everyone is holding a phone in there.
Exactly. So if you're a business owner and you're not advertising, you're not on social media, you're not doing podcasts, you're not doing interviews, you're not having digital media ad buys, and no one is paying me for any of this to say any of this, what I'm telling you is what works. Because if you are in front of me, if you pop up on a feed, 9 times out of 10, if this is something that I'm thinking that I need, I'm going to click through.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I might not get it that day, but I'm going to add it to my favorites, or I add it in my notes and I know to go back because that's something I may have been looking for.
And then you have to learn how to challenge yourself to think outside of the box. You want to be everywhere you need to be. And if you use one medium, you may want to consider another, because now you're recycling that information, retargeting that information. And I love it whenever we have different mediums to where we help you stalk, right? If you see that pair of shoes on your home phone, then you see it again on your work computer, and then it comes up while you're playing a game. It's a sign from Big Brother. No, it's a sign that Big Brother is watching.
Exactly.
And so many people, they do it with things that's working against us. So imagine if we put that type of energy into the things that we feel will make everything around us better.
And the last thing I do want to say, and I'm not saying it's over, but before I forget it, we are an innovative species. As human beings, we think these ideas, we write them down, and then we close the book. I'm going to challenge each of you guys. If you are thinking of something, a newer way to do something, a more efficient way to do something, there are organizations here, I know for certain that MBDA has a program with Southern University Law Center, helping individuals with obtaining a patent. So there are organizations that will help businesses with even getting their organizational structure together, having their LLC filed, understanding how they need to register with the Secretary of State, governmental agencies like Louisiana Apex, that they help you to understand government contracting and where those opportunities are. There are resources. And I know as a small business owner, because I am one myself, I know that there's only 24 hours in a day, but I challenge you again to prioritize working on your business
and having that strong foundation.
And not only working in your business, because when you work in your business 24/7, you are an employee. I want to say that again.
Slow motion.
You are the employee. And what you are doing is, instead of working for the man or whoever else you think you want to work for, you are the man. And I want you to think beyond working just as it is. If that is your passion, understanding how you can build that organization out and be able to help other people come in and actualize that passion, right? Having someone come in that can work for you, it expands your capacity to be able to serve more people.
That helps a lot.
Outsourcing. You don't need to grow so large, so tall, so fast. Go wide. If you have someone coming on, get an HR consultant. We have small businesses that provide HR consulting. They will hire and onboard and do your background checks and help you with filing your payroll tax.
Wait a second, you mean to tell me we need all of that?
All of that. But you don't have to do it yourself.
Right.
Like, outsource. Have a third party come in until you're able to do that.
But you know what? Now, I got to stop you there, because that's what halts us from getting to the next level. We can't get the strong foundation because we're so worried about honing everything in on our own. We don't want to expand. We don't want to outsource. If we don't get it done ourselves, as if we are a superwoman all day, every day, that we don't want to ask for help. We have to get out of that mentality as well. We have to trust that, you know what, this company, they're not in competition. They're going to help me complete my task, and we're going to grow together. We're going to grow together, because if you're waiting to get all the HR stuff done, then you have to go get your qualifications to even know what questions to ask before the trouble arises. You know, now is the time to say, just let me leave it to the experts, and let me be the expert at what I do.
So what I say is, there are 24 hours in a day. I need a few more, but that's between me and my maker. And we're trying to work that out so I can get you guys can sleep. I just need it so we can get more stuff done. But there's 24 hours in a day. And at the same time, so two things. One is your value of time. The things that you can do for your business, and that value, whether that is a $250 an hour, a $500 an hour, a $25 an hour. Understand the task and the value of that task. And if you yourself are a $500 an hour person and you're doing a $25 an hour task,
the math ain't math.
You are at a net negative. And so what I would encourage you to do is, as you are building out your business and proposals, and when you are going after these contracts, understanding what you need to have that done, value set for that individual. It may be a person that you do a small contract with for this job. And so what happens is you cover that maybe administrative task, if there's some documents that have to be recorded, or some tasks that are administrative or operational, while you are performing the actual deliverable. Build that into your proposal. You don't have to have that person on as a full-time or part-time employee. You can have them as an independent contracted person for this scope.
And a lot of it can also become a part of our working portfolio.
Exactly.
We don't get enough of the training while we're doing it in real time. You'll notice even with a lot of the students, they don't get the real in-time training. So by the time they get on the job, they realize this isn't what I thought I was signing up for, because there was no learning curve. And now they don't have time for the learning curve, because we expect you to do the task that's needed, like ASAP. And living in this instant gratification of a hashtag and retweet, no one respects the process anymore. We think that everybody can show up overnight and it's a success. Well, my 10 minutes may have started 10 years ago.
Correct.
But nobody talks about that part. So that's why it's important to be in the room, because even sometimes the connection of those who have the experience is more valuable than anything else that we'll ever be able to get. And those like minds, they will be able to encourage us, to enlighten us, and to keep us going.
And I tell you, it's much easier to follow up on a call with a person that you received their business card from because you were at the event where they were, versus trying to get that contact information from online or going through a gatekeeper.
Sis just said be in the room. And to be in the room, you gotta call the right ones. We got the right rooms at the right time in the right place with the right folks. You heard me?
Exactly.
I'm loving this, and I want you to log on today. Follow them on their social media, LA Chamber Foundation. You can find them at lachamberfoundation.org. Be there for the luncheons. Join a chamber. If you don't have a chamber in your area, create one,
chamber.
sustain one. We got you. And thank you for being a vessel and for making this happen. You tell your team y'all are the real MVP, and don't you dare let them tell you different, because I know she got more work to do.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna let you chase the sun or let the sun chase you. But either way, get after it. I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Love you too, sis. Thank you so much. I appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.